Today, the nation is continuing to remember former President Jimmy Carter. He died yesterday at 100 years old. President Carter leaves behind a legacy of service and philanthropy. Public tributes will begin with an observance at the Carter Center in Atlanta, where many are already turning out to pay their respects to the 39th president. The Carter Center was a passion project working to advance human rights, promote peace, and fight disease while influencing U.S. policy.
I carry and they carry in their hearts the principles that the Carters lived by: human dignity, human rights, freedom, democracy, elections, and alleviation of suffering.
And tonight we've learned he will lie in state at the U.S. Capitol before he's laid to rest. But home building projects he personally participated in stretched far and wide, including here in the Rose City. CBS 19's Will Rydell has the story.
Jimmy Carter never set foot in East Texas for the sake of building houses, but despite this, Habitat Humanity of Smith County leaders say the impact he's left behind is undeniable.
We, of course, were sad to hear about President Carter's passing, but we are very grateful to be able to recognize the huge impact that he and Mrs. Carter have had on Habitat here and internationally.
Carter brought increased attention to Habitat and the important work the nonprofit does. In Smith County, that work includes critical repairs like those done on the home of Mrs. Dorsey.
Before they came in and did the work they done, my house was broken in 3 times, and they have made me feel more secure. It has such an impact on my life.
Jack Wilson, former CEO of Habitat for Humanity of Smith County, described President Carter as a shining champion for their organization. Wilson says Habitat for Humanity is a key part of Carter's lasting legacy, humbly helping people connect with the American dream.
He was so down to earth and like a regular person. If you didn't see the Secret Service around, you wouldn't actually know that he was an ex-president, because he would be right in there, getting dirty and working alongside everybody else to help build these homes.
There is no place like home, and no president has done more to provide shelter than former President Jimmy Carter. For CBS 19, I'm Will Rydell.
Tonight, more leaders in the Lone Star State are sending their condolences to the Carter family. Former President George W. Bush released a statement saying, quote, he was loyal to his family, his community, and his country. President Carter dignified the office, and his efforts to leave behind a better world didn't end with the presidency. His work with Habitat for Humanity and the Carter Center set an example of service that will inspire Americans for generations, unquote. The 2 U.S. senators from Texas released statements on President Carter's passing. Senator Ted Cruz says in part, quote, at age 100, President Carter was the oldest former president in history, and he left a legacy of honorable military and public service. His decades-long dedication to building homes for those in need was truly remarkable. Senator John Cornyn says in part, quote, his love for his home state of Georgia and for those he served through his charities like Habitat for Humanity was evident throughout his life, and his legacy will remain a cherished part of our great American story, unquote. Texas Governor Greg Abbott also released a statement saying in part, quote, our nation remains the greatest beacon of freedom and opportunity in the world because of our fearless chief executives who are a guiding force through the best and worst of times. He continues in part saying that we owe President Carter our enduring gratitude for his service as the 39th president of the United States.